All right, folks, we're live here on the Seekers podcast for August 24. I'm your host, Wendell Hurricane Burrows. We're still waiting on Neil to come in and maybe Marcus and maybe Barry. We'll see who shows up. Right now we have Billy Decker, BC Davis, and Dale Bullock. Uh, I guess we'll go around and start with BC and then Dale and then Billy, and everybody can say hello. And then once we get to Billy, we can ask him some questions or just let him tell about any of his encounters. So go ahead, BC.
Yeah, I'm BC Davis. I live in the town of Bald Knob. Yep, that's actually a town. And that is in White County, Arkansas. And most of my research and just gathering information is central in this area, but there is a lot that goes on in this area. So just as Wendell and Dale can attest, yeah, there's some weird stuff in this area. That's all I got.
Sure are.
Hi, I'm Dale Bullock.
All right, Dale.
I live a couple of miles out of Heber Springs, Arkansas, up here in north central Arkansas. And I've been running around with Wendell and his crew for quite a while now, and we've had some pretty good experiences. And you're right, I can attest to that, BC. That's the first time we actually found 3 towed tracks up there around BC's area, which is something we've never seen before. So that was kind of interesting. That's about it. We're just looking forward to see what Billy's got to talk about tonight.
Awesome. Go ahead, Billy. Introduce yourself and tell everybody where you're from. And
I'm Billy Decker. I'm out here in Santa Fe, Texas. I've been here in Texas since 1978. I moved out here when I was 24 and got married and raised my girls here. And even had some encounters up there in East Texas.
Awesome. Still hadn't heard nothing from Neil. Hoping he makes it here. You want to tell us about your first experience there, where you was at the camp and everything, and how many years ago this was, and just what all happened there, Billy?
I think Billy froze.
Can you hear us, Billy? Well, that's strange.
Mm-hmm.
All right, BC, I guess if you're still there, go ahead with your latest encounter. I've been eager to hear, waiting about the UFO and everything.
Yeah, it wasn't my encounter, but it was a friend of mine that I went through school. We went first through 12th grades together. And then this was the 10th of August. He's out on his front porch one night, and he sees a string of lights coming from Bald Knob to where he lives, which is in Liberty Valley, which, we all know we've been to that area. And he said there was like 12 to 15, maybe more. And they would go directly overhead, and then they would just disappear. Like one would disappear, and then another one would kind of pop up at the end of the line. And I didn't find out how long this went on, but he said, I thought they were going behind a cloud, but I could see the stars. So eventually they'd all went to this one point and just vanished. And I said, were there any sounds, any jets, any, like jet propulsion or propellers? He said, nothing. I was thinking, well, maybe it was that Starlink, but wow. I would think that would be seen, from horizon to horizon instead of just basically getting overhead and just disappearing into a point.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And that's the same area where I saw that, where my cousin and I saw that UFO, that repeating UFO that showed up there about 4 nights in a row. And also where we had our little encounter back there in November of 22.
Did he see any shapes or anything like that?
No, he just said they just circular.
Just points of light. Yeah.
Yeah, just circular.
Hmm.
Just like in a string formation.
Yeah.
And just disappearing into a point. I don't know if any of y'all watched The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, but they've recorded similar things where they see a UAP or UFO, as we called them growing up, just go to a certain point and they vanish.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw one down in BB.
I remember you telling me that. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's it.
Man, that was crazy.
Hey, sorry about that, man. My phone overheated. And...
It happens. You go doing podcast, strange stuff happens. BC was telling us about a UFO encounter his friend had. That was neat. Bald knob.
Yeah, Bill, this is a for lack of a better term, a window area. It's not just Sasquatch. You know, there's been dogman sightings, and we've actually seen an alien. There's also been cloaked entity sightings, orbs, and UFOs. Pretty much, you name it, we've got it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hub central.
Yes. And that picture that you did all the filters and stuff on, man, I don't know what all else was in there. There's definitely a squatch, definitely an alien or whatever, and something that looks like a dog man, and then in one of the pictures it almost looks like a reptilian with its, like its mouth open.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I don't know if they were having a conference or if it was a Sunday get together, because it was a Sunday. But what they were all doing in that one spot, I mean, we can only guess at.
Yeah, it didn't look like to me they were actually all the same type.
No, everything was different looking.
Yeah. That big white thing, whatever that was, that was strange looking. Almost looked like a wraith or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's also something that I've had discussions with. Could have been an alien, could have been a rake. But Wendell and I saw it stand up, and it was around, I'm guessing, 6.5 to 7 feet tall. And it was wearing something. Wendell, you remember it almost looked like almost like a skirt, like a maxi skirt.
Yes. Weird something. Yeah. So.
And how everything went dead quiet except for that one locust, which was within like 10 feet of us, but everything else, all the other insects and birds went dead quiet.
Right.
Oh, almost lost electricity.
And then
and the 22-inch print we found.
That, and that log come whirling in after that, and that's what distracted us. When we looked back, everything was gone.
Yeah, it was just
like the log.
Yeah, and the whoops and wood knocks coming from our 9, 1 o'clock, and roughly 3:30 positions. Because I know Robert did a wood knock, and it was immediately responded to.
Right. Yep. Definitely a strange area, and we'll get back over. It's not too awful far from where Bill's going to be up at the end.
Yeah, wind's about 49 miles straight east of me.
Yeah, it's not too far. So it's probably the other edge of the activity there where he's talking about. But we'll get into his first story, and then we'll get on to it's your mother-in-law's place, or is it your?
Yes, it's
the one at Crowley Ridge.
My wife's mother lives on Crowley Ridge.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. But okay, go ahead and tell us about your first encounter there at the camp, and how old you thought you was.
The first one,
or how?
The first one, this is 1974, like in December 1974. I was working construction, and this is in South Florida, and we were kind kind of worked ourselves out of a job because we were keeping up with the roofers. So the guy I was working for, he said, I got a house we can do in Davie. I said, okay. This is, right on the tip of right around the Everglades. So it's probably about 25 miles, which isn't bad to drive. So I'm headed towards the turnpike, and I hear on the radio, they call them skunk apes down there, that a skunk ape has torn the stomach out of a horse and the head off of a calf. So I went, wow, okay, Davey. So when I got to Roger's house, I asked him about it, and he said, yeah, everybody's phone is ringing off the walls, So I said, well, where's this house at? And he goes, it's about a half a mile from that ranch. I said, okay. I didn't think anything of it. So we got to the house, and they were building homes in orange groves. This guy had orange trees in the front yard, orange trees everywhere. They just knocked down enough trees to build a house. So it wasn't a job site. So at lunchtime, there was no roach coach to pull up. So I said, well, I'm going to go pick oranges. So I walked out back, probably 100 feet from the house, and I got this frightening experience. It just scared me. And I said, I had 3 or 4 oranges. I said, man, I just got to get out of here, And I didn't know about infrasound until this guy Matt told me a couple of weeks ago, and how to fix people. So I walked back to the house and I said, hey, man, there's something out there. And they go, oh, there's nothing out there. It's your imagination. And I said, okay, all right. So the second time I had this same feeling. It was like 77. And I was on my motorcycle. I was headed west in Atlantic Boulevard, Delray. And it was wintertime, and it was full rain. And
Probably just a bad feeling.
I'm sorry.
That was Barry. He finally made it on here.
And so I stopped my bike, took my helmet off, enjoyed the night air, and I got that feeling again. That something's watching me, something's coming. I got on my bike and I took off. So then the third time, I'm in Calvert, Texas. I met this guy, Wayne Yates, got to be one of my best friends. And he has 75 acres up in Calvert, Texas. And he told me, go up there, go hunting anytime you want. He goes, come get the keys, just look after my horses. I said, okay. So I took a couple friends and we went up there, and we're going to kill some pigs. And I said, well, I'm going to stay all night out here in the woods up in this tree. And I was probably, 15 feet up in the air, something like that. Tied myself to the tree, made stirrups for my feet so my feet wouldn't fall asleep. And this was July 1980. And full moon, and I'm kind of dozing, and I'm, looking around, and I get that feeling of terror again. And there's not a sound. And I look down, and I see an image, reaching for my feet, and I see these palms of these hands reaching for my feet, and I just kind of went, ah! And I yelled, and it took off. I still stayed in the tree all night. And told my friends about it the next day because they stayed in the camp. And then in 1990, I was going to go hog hunting in the Angelina National Forest up around Lake Sam Rayburn. And the bridge between Lake Sam Rayburn and Broadus is where I went into the woods. I was kind of headed south. And I stayed out there till it was winter. And I stayed out there a little late, and I said, well, I better head out before I find my way out. And then as I was walking, I had that feeling again that he's right behind me, and I didn't dare turn around. I just kept walking and walking, and I didn't even turn around when I went walking across the street. I didn't even want to look back. Come to find out that there's some people up there that hunt for Sasquatch in the Angelina National Forest. He goes, all that area from on the other side of Broadus to south of there's this peninsula, that whole area, Barrister Wilderness. It's all a lot of sightings up there. Some kid was driving through the woods and Sasquatch tore his door off of his truck. In 97, in the late 90s, I used to go to martial arts camp up in Cold Spring, Texas, at Double Lake Park. And I used to always like to compete with the color belts, but they finally said no. They pulled me off the team, so I had to be on the black belt team. So I said, well, I'm going to make this realistic as I can. This is a Halloween weekend, 97. So I'm out in the woods with all my predator calls, blowing in all my predator calls. Hog call, wounded rabbit, all that, fawn, bleat. And all of a sudden, he's standing right behind me, scared me bad. And I got on my radio and I said, hey, I'm not by myself anymore. And they said, where are you? And I said, I'm at about 50 feet from my campsite because there's a place in the woods where I slept one night in the survival camp. And he said, okay, stop all nighttime activity. So I went back out to the trail. I had to walk about 75 feet back up to the trail. And I gathered up all the color belts and I said, come on, we're getting out of the woods. And they said, what's going on? I said, something's out here. We need to leave. So we all headed back up towards the bridge. And there was probably over 20 people there. And three of the guys, one he's a judo master, and another guy who's he's the ex-combat corpsman, and a friend of mine, Mac McNally, his son, they went back into the woods, but they went down the Lone Star Trail. And they no sooner disappeared from sight. This is around midnight now. They no sooner disappeared from sight. Here comes Biggie crashing through the woods. Limb tapping, stomping his feet, probably less than 100 feet away from us. And everybody goes, what's that? What's that? And I go, man, what does this sound like? Everybody said, oh, an elephant, a rhinoceros. And I go, how many feet? They said, 2. I said, you probably just had your first big Sasquatch experience. And everybody goes, Bigfoot? And I went, yeah, whatever you want to call it. And my friend Mac, I have to get a reality check every now and then. I call Mac. He's in Mississippi now. I go, Mac, did you remember that? He goes, yes, I was standing right next to you. He goes, I remember hearing you say that on the radio. I said, okay, thank you. I said, sometimes I got to have a reality check. So that's just Texas, Florida. Now in Arkansas, where my mother-in-law lived, my father-in-law passed away like 30 years ago. I think it's 1993. And ever since he's been gone, I will not walk down to the shop at night to get whatever out of the freezer. I won't go down there. My wife will go down there. My sister-in-law will go down there. I just get that bad feeling, So this has been going on for years. And I told Tammy, I said, I just don't like it. Something's going on down there. So one of my nephews was staying out there when my mother-in-law was out of town. So I asked Douglas, I said, hey, man, you lived out here for a while. Have you seen anything out here? And he looked at me, he waited a couple seconds, he goes, Michael has seen the creature. And I said, really? And I didn't say anything about Bigfoot. So I said, well, I need to talk to Michael. So that was June of 23. And I didn't get to talk to Michael out there till August of 23. Michael took me right to the spot, right on my mother-in-law's place. And he goes, yeah, there were 3 of them right here. A father about 8 foot tall, a female about a little over 6 foot tall, and he looked like a young male. He was like a shorter female. And he goes, Uncle Billy, they had red eyes. I went, and this was in the daytime because he was stalking a deer down into the bottoms. So we walked back over to the house. I said, how tall was his head compared to the eave? He goes, his head was even with the eave on the roof. I went, okay, all right. So I posted all that first I posted on Ozark Bigfoot. And Robert Taylor commented that he had seen tree bends in Village Creek National Park or State Park, which is right across the street. I mean, the park entrance is like less than a half a mile from my mother-in-law's driveway. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, hey, I'd like you to show them to me, And the last time I went out there, I took my slide whistle out there and I cracked broke one of my baseball bats, hitting the tree, nothing happened. That's the first time I ever did anything like that. It's just like, I never went looking for Sasquatch, but it just seems that he's around, he's there when I'm there, Except for that one time I was in my mother-in-law. I was just out there by the carport doing my slide whistle. Nothing happened, didn't hear anything. But that's that's the thing. And I had an interview last week with Drunken Cryptids with a guy named Matt, and he asked me, "Have you ever heard of infrasound?" And I went, "No. What is it?" And he told me that elephants do it, whales do it, tigers do it. That's why people freeze up. And I went, "Oh, okay, I'll look into it." And sure enough, when I looked at it, did a search on it, yeah, people freak out. People terrorized, and that's what I felt, was terrorized. So, but the only time I heard them was crashing through the woods in '97, and then looking down at it as it was reaching for my feet in 1980. I was 26 years old, and it was dark, and I saw this black image reaching for my feet, and I think I saw some facial features, but I really don't remember what I was looking at. But it terrified me, and that's it, man.
Right. You said you was coming back to that area. What's the dates that you'll be there? And
Be next. My wife and I are going to drive out there next Sunday.
next Sunday.
So, yeah, because my mother-in-law's going to turn 92, and we're going to stay for a week out there and come home the following Sunday. And I was kind of hoping I could get together with Robert. He said he knew where those tree bends were. I was going to take pictures of them.
Awesome. Yeah.
And because my girl, I think it was, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, my daughters went out there and with my grandkids, and they hiked all those trails. And it was tough on them, they're only 12 at the time, But and I've been up and down the roads. Really, they're steep in that part, But
Right.
yeah, I'm just gonna go over. I told my wife, I said I'll go out there in December and do a camp out in the woods. And she goes, "Man, it'll be snow." So what? I still put snow on the ground when I was in the Marine Corps. I said, "That's the difference."
Right. Well, you're welcome. We're going to be going to Area 2 in December and in February too again. So you're welcome to, I got to find a date in December and February, but I'll let you know.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is, if you don't mind, I'm gonna put I got a DL1 camera.
Yeah.
I haven't used it in a while, and I'm put it in the shop and have it serviced. So I need something like that, and movie camera. I'll
Yeah.
take it with me if you guys don't
Awesome.
mind.
Yeah, we don't mind. BC might, if Robert's going with you, BC might be interested in going too. Whatever day y'all figure out to go.
Hey, BC, you lived in Bald Knob?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know Bald's not that far from Wynn, is it?
No, it's about 49 miles. I'm 49 miles straight west of Wynn on Highway 64.
Right, 64 goes right through the Crowley Ridge. Yeah. Oh, and here's something else. What I don't know if it was on Ozark Bigfoot or the cartel, but somebody had posted that in 2020 or 2021 on the east side of Crowley Ridge, north of 64, that they had an encounter with a Sasquatch in their yard, in his robbery, or whatever. So I contacted him, and I said, "Hey, man, where did this happen? Did it happen here?" And he goes, "No, it was south of it." My mother, my wife and her sisters, where they were raised on top or on that eastern part of Arkansas, or the Crowley Ridge, in that north of Wynn. And one of my nephews lives there right now, and but he said, "No, it's south of there, closer to 64." I said, "Oh, okay," But
That's more collaboration that something's in the area. So that's what we always look for.
Yeah, that's just a couple of years ago, Yeah.
Hey, Barry, get over to you. See you made it in. You want to tell everybody hi and if you've had anything going on?
Hello, everybody. No, we ain't really had anything going on. I did do a podcast with the Not So Perfect Bigfoot podcast, and she
Oh,
knew
yeah?
you.
Yeah, we've been on there. I hadn't, I would have, I'll go on there and watch it. I didn't know about it.
I think she said it'd be up tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, she does good interviews. She's actually going to come to the probably the one in February. I was talking to Billy about the one in December is more for uh, people that's been in the woods a long time, not just spectators. But they're going to come from all the way wherever they do their podcast. I think it's like Illinois, somewhere out there, and they're going to come to the one in February with us.
I thought she was like North Carolina.
It might be. I know it's a long way away, but they're going to take their vacation and come.
Well,
Are they coming to Area 2 or where are they coming to?
Area 2, that's where they wanted to go. They want to come to the one in December, but like I said, that's I think that'll be way too much for them.
Area 2 is way too much for most people.
Yeah, just the normal part.
Yeah.
Hey, you back, BC? What happened?
I don't know. I mean, just I was here and then I wasn't here. Got kicked.
Yeah.
Does anybody else get that terrorized feeling from infrasound?
I think I did one time. Now they've heard this story, but I'll go ahead and kind of speed through this. About a mile or so west of me is an area called the Cliffs. And I'd heard that my dad had heard that they had crumbled. Now, this is in December of 1989. So I'd spent a lot of time out there as a kid, and I was like, well, I'm going to go check this out. As luck would have it, I took a double-barreled shotgun with me, which kind of plays a little bit into the story. But so I get out of the vehicle, and at the trailhead, there's this huge eastern red cedar. So I'll start down the trail, and off to the left, I'd hear footsteps. Well, I didn't think anything about it because a lot of people went out there. So I just shrugged it off, walked. I heard them again. The third time, I called out and said, hey, look, I've got a gun. Let me know where you're at so I don't shoot in your direction. I wasn't hunting. It was just out there to kind of fend off any other critters. They're feral dogs and coyotes, etc. So I'll go down there again. I keep going down to the creek, which is Overflow Creek, which comes out of Ball Knob Lake. And I finally get to the creek side, and I hear the steps, and I turn around, and I'm looking right at where those steps are coming from. I didn't see anything, and I went from like a feeling of what the heck to absolutely terror-filled in like a nanosecond. And I stood there, and I probably fired off 8 rounds just in that general direction, and I was going up that trailhead, constantly shooting, reload. You'd be surprised how fast you can load and reload when you're scared. And believe me, I shot my way out of there. I hadn't been back there since, and it's coming up on 35 years, and I haven't went back down there since. But yeah, that terror feeling, yeah, that right there, I remember like it happened yesterday.
Yeah, I can't ever forget it. Weird that I could. First time I felt it was I was in that orange grove, and I just had to get out of there fast.
Yeah, I went from 0 to absolutely terror-filled in, like I said, a nanosecond.
It's weird. It's I didn't know. For a while, I go, man, am I on the same frequency with these creatures? Why do I sense this stuff? And that's when Matt goes, oh, you must be sensitive to infrasound. I'm like, all right, I'll have to look that up. So because it sounds like that not everybody suffers from it or is experiences it.
Yeah, I was out there by myself, and I had been out there by myself a lot of times as a teenager, and I had a couple of weird experiences prior to that, but I wasn't aware of Bigfoot or anything. I mean, I'd heard of them and all that, but I thought that was like in Falk, Arkansas, or out in California. I had no idea that, we kind of live in Cryptid Central where I'm at now. But I had a lost time incident out there once. Just being out there. And then when I was leaving, I was like, man, that sun's down a lot farther than it should have been for the time that I perceived that I was out there. I mean, it was probably about an hour and a half down, and I only thought I was out there in maybe 30 minutes.
Right. That happens too. Lost time with that infrasound.
Yeah.
Like I was telling the lady the other night, I might have had it happen to me once. I didn't get scared. I got disorientated. I hiked about a half a mile in the wrong direction, dead opposite of where I thought I was going. And I was on my own property. It's a place I don't get lost.
Right.
I don't get turned around.
I read about that. That's disorientation is another one of the things that can happen to you.
Yeah, I topped the ridge and looked around. And I was headed away from the house instead of towards you.
Yeah, we had about 3/4 of our camp come down pretty sick one time up there. Batteries drained.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like I told the lady last night. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't know if that had anything to do with infrasound, but something sure caused it.
I was going to say I may have just gotten too hot. It may not have been infrasound. But...
That same way, something caused the batteries, and everybody got like 6 of them got sick, and that's strange stuff happening and everything there. Me and Billy he come up with the idea or thought about it. Infrasound may affect batteries as far as vibrating or something like that, because all of them batteries didn't just go dead. The ones in the game cameras was actually leaking out yellow liquid. So when I was talking to Billy this week, he kind of asked about that, and I was like, well, I never thought of it, but that might have been what did that. Who knows?
Yeah, you always hear people going out in the woods and their batteries going dead. Their phone won't work or their flashlights quit working or whatever, when Biggie's around,
Well, the batteries in my game camera that I put out there actually melted.
Wow.
Yeah.
The whole battery pack just melted down in there. You couldn't even get the batteries out. It was so melted. And, of course, nothing worked anymore. It's dead.
And we also discussed we had been out, I don't know, since 2015, twice a year. And that never happened until 3 times ago. I think it was 2020, something like that, 21. And then every time we've been there now, these last 3 times, we've had battery issues. And it's different sets of batteries, and people bring them from different places, and still we're having. That's the only place that we've had the battery issues. We didn't have it at Stillamore, and we hadn't had it. We didn't have a full night investigation at Ball Nom, but we hadn't had that problem at Ball Nom. So I'm not 100% sure Bigfoot's doing it, but possibility.
Yeah. Does it do rechargeable batteries too, or is it just like tri-cell batteries?
The ones that we've had before this time was rechargeable. The store-bought batteries. This time I actually took rechargeable batteries, and the ones in the equipment went dead. Now I went back to the box where you recharge them at. I had 2 more. Those were still good. Put them in the equipment, and then within less than an hour, those were dead. But I don't know what's the difference. The only other thing, they were in my backpack. That might have stopped any interference or anything, But once I got them out of my backpack, they started getting affected or something. So I don't know. But this time they were rechargeable batteries.
Yeah, because my camera it has a rechargeable battery. You know, the same thing happened with your rechargeables. You know.
Yeah. They didn't melt down, but they just went dead. Might have not been left them there long enough or something.
What was that? Oh, I thought somebody said something.
No, that was Barry's.
That's Bo Stevens in the
Bo
background.
Stevens. Yeah, I couldn't think. I kept thinking of Hank Williams Jr. I said, no, that ain't his name. It ain't Hank Williams Jr. But it is. But
Yeah, that's where he got the name.
yeah. I guess I'm getting old and senile. I couldn't think of that for a second there. I don't know.
He acted up last night while I was at work. Now he's acting up again tonight.
Huh.
Friday night.
Or Friday night it was.
Friday night when I went out the ball, man.
He just wanting to say hello.
Yep.
That's enough. That's enough.
How's mom doing?
She's doing better.
Awesome.
Went to the kidney doctors. Her kidneys actually improved.
Great.
They just got to take that place off her nose. It's skin cancer.
Oh, yeah. That happens a lot anymore.
Yep.
They say it's from being out in the sun, but who knows? Something we're going to be working in conjunction with a guy named Todd Neese. We may do a town hall meeting up around the Buffalo River in September, some like the 23rd, 24th, or 25th, one of them dates. He hadn't narrowed down the dates, but he's supposed to let me know this week. And then I'll post it. That'll be interesting to get everybody's encounters there.
Yeah.
Our deal, we had our Bigfoot meet and greet, and I was hoping Neil would be on here, but I just realized a while ago I sent the link to his old phone number. I sent him another link right now to his number, but he hadn't answered yet. But he was the host at the Bigfoot meet and greet at Redding Campground, and it all went good. We had a couple that come in from Searcy. Their name was Michelle and Paul Bunn, and they got to experience some in-close Bigfoot encounter, which was just across a holler from us, but it was enough that she had to go get back in the truck, and her husband, which was a retired military personnel, was amazed at it. But they'd been several places around the nation and conferences and outings and never heard anything just that close and that extreme. They've heard the whoops way off in the distance or whatever when they're sitting around a fire or whatever. But this was, I almost want to say two of them fighting, but I don't know exactly what they're doing, but they went all over that hillside. So well, that was pretty neat for them.
Might have been two of them late today.
Did you hear, Mom?
No.
I heard about it. I didn't hear what she said.
Yeah, I mean, I heard her, but
Might have been two of them mating.
yeah, might have been. I
I
didn't think
when you
about
said
that.
that, that's what popped in my head, so I figured that's what it was.
We all know where your mind's at now.
It was possible. It was weird. Then when she got in the vehicle, the truck horn went off, and when that happened, everything just shut up for about an hour, and we was like, well, I guess that run them off or something. And we tried our experiment that we've done before. The same time Marcus was hit with the infrasound is where a vehicle drives out of area 2, and when it comes back in, you start getting locator calls and whoops. And sure enough, as they drove in, right there, the area where me and Steve and James seen something go off the bluff line. It was human shaped but huge, and in the middle of the night, it went off this bluff line. And I say it was a Bigfoot, but he said you can't say it was a Bigfoot because you don't know that for sure. But I don't know what else would go off that bluff line that quick in the middle of the night in the dark. But anyway,
No.
a possible Bigfoot went off that side. Right there at that same area was the first whoop, and that's the first curve that's coming around the bluff line that you're driving on. And when that went off, one way back over by the pond area, which is across from the Gauntlet, went off, and they just systematically went off. It was like, hey, I've got them over here. They're coming in, and this one, be ready. You know, that's what it seemed like was going on. And she was still in the truck at this time, but Paul was amazed at that. He said, I've never heard them communicate like that, and back and forth, and one respond to the next one to respond to the next one to respond. It's just a chain reaction. So
Ask him if they'll growl.
that was kind of good to know that they're still in the area, and well, that during that there's at least 6 of them that responded, so there's at least 6 of them still there.
I know the answer to this, but Mom wants to ask you if they growl.
Yes.
She's heard a couple growls around the house here lately.
I was sitting out on the porch one night here that I wouldn't know how my little tail in the house.
One of those in between one of them calls was a roar growl. It was like that.
Yeah, like a bear.
That's what another friend of mine said. He said that might have been a bear that was scared of them. I said it might have been, but it was down there in amongst of them, and it made that sound.
I've heard this twice in the last week.
Huh?
I've heard it one night. I was sitting out on the porch watching my hummingbirds,
Yeah.
and it sounded like it was down the hollow across the road from me. Down in that hollow. And I heard it 1 or 2 times, and I said, I think I better get in the house.
I don't blame you. Either way, if a bear will growl, but Bigfoot do growl too.
And then we was walking out the road the other night to go out to what we call a holy playground. Well, we pray at all the time by the gate out there. And we was out there praying, and I got done. I was standing there waiting for Barry to finish up. And when he got done, I said to him, I said, did you hear that? He said, hear what? I said, you didn't hear what that was growling? He said, I didn't hear anything. I said, well, something back over in our other field down below that fence in that room was like going through there was growling.
Yep.
And I kind of wondered because they've been down here trimming the trees down around the electric lines.
The power cut, they've been clearing it out.
Oh yeah.
And I wondered maybe if they didn't stir them up.
I figured they did. I've heard of that before, actually. Down where the guy that is in the hospital, Dale. Well, he's talking about him. Who he's gonna go? He was gonna go. Nathan Waters.
Nathan Wall.
Down there where his encounter was at, my buddy and got me to go with him to go down there, and the power company had something that run them off, and that was in 2020. And we went down there and investigated all that area, and ended up we found Bigfoot tracks and everything. And that's the first thing he did. He said, well, just to get them out of here for you, he put up a whole series of game cameras along that power line right away. And I never did hear anything else about it. And then about 3 months after that, we was planning on going back. I'm sure he got the cameras before then, but I didn't tell him. But he passed away, so I hadn't been back down to that area. So, but they definitely, anytime around a power line is subject to, they use them for movement, and it also can aggravate them if something's going on during there.
Yep. Tell them about the noise you heard last night while I was at work.
Oh, I was cooking supper and I was in the kitchen there and it sounded like something was dragging,
Hmm.
like a tractor or something dragging down the side of the road in the rock.
Yeah.
I thought, what in the world? So I got done whatever I was doing. I run out the kitchen door, run out in the yard out there, and kind of looked up the road, down the road, and all around where I could see. And I couldn't see a thing, not a thing. I mean, nowhere. So I went all the way around the house and looked and run out back and looked around uh, the yard and looked everywhere I could think to look. And I couldn't find anything, but it sounded like it was dragging along the side of the road.
Only reason I had to tell you about that, some of the real strange stuff I've heard about sounds that sound like metal dragging or gates opening and shutting. Or y'all ever heard of anything like that?
I've heard encounters of them doing stuff like that. Only thing we've heard is uh, as far as hitting metal or anything, was a washer and dryer that was on as you pull into area 2 that used to be there. That in the middle of the night you'd hear it get beat up every which way, and you go back up there in the morning and it'd be on one side of the road to the other side of the road, back and forth. Depend. That's the only thing I've heard as far as metal sounds.
Well, I don't know what this was, but I never did see nothing. No way.
Right. Well,
I know
Kind of
they talk.
scared me. I'll be truthful. It kind of scared me. I didn't know what to think.
Well, you
Oh,
hear
yeah.
about these odd noises everybody hears out of the clear blue sky that sounds weird and stuff.
Yeah. So it may be something else activity, and it may be them. It's definitely something to keep us posted on. If you keep hearing it, we'll try to figure out what's going on. Rhonda Bunn, that's the lady that went with us to Area 2. That's her Facebook account. She goes by Michelle. But where in White County are y'all having these activities? And it's questioning in Hurricane Lake. BC, you there?
I'm here.
Is that where most of the activities was at? I know
Yes. Yes, Hurricane Lake. It was near where we were at was near Mallard Pond, where
Yeah.
that next year they cleared out about 300 or 400 acres of trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know they do that, but it seemed a little coincidental that it was where we had that encounter that got cleared out.
And they didn't, it wasn't like a logging process where they hauled the logs off. They just cut these down, piled them up. Maybe they was diseased or something. I didn't give them a benefit of a doubt, but I doubt it. It seemed odd that it was right where our area. I'm sure the Sasquatch that was there has moved to other parts of the park. We just got to locate them, go back over there and do a day scouting, kind of like we're going to do around the Buffalo River up there. If anybody's got any encounters around what was the park we went to, Dale?
I can't think of it now.
I had it in my mind until then, but anyway, it's near Ponca or around Ponca. Any Buffalo River along that area, Bigfoot encounters, either message me or Dale or Todd Neese. And we're trying to get a database built up here of places that we can check within the refuge there and around that area, and possibly do some meet and greet there next year and or investigations up in that area. So
yeah, it's up there around the Orr Boy Scout camp.
Yeah, or Boy Scout camp. And I always is like the Hurricane Lake area. Message me or BC and or Robert Taylor, and we'll try to get boots on the ground.
Yeah, if Rhonda's still in here, I was also going to mention that Ball Knob Lake, the Russell Bottoms, the bottoms around Bradford and Russell, and up towards Possum Grape and in the hills in those areas that's all hot spots. So if they're interested, of course, I don't know if I'd go walking around the woods this time of year because of the ticks, chiggers, and snakes.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely wait till winter.
One thing that we did when we was at Devil's Den and walked around everywhere, and then in Area 2, I didn't get any ticks, and I didn't knock on wood. Didn't see no snake, didn't want to, but that was lucky, I guess.
I haven't had a chigger all year. Mom got in a batch of them earlier this year. I've only seen one snake. He was alive when I saw him. He wasn't when I was done with him.
That's a good snake.
Well, I only ran over him 3 times. I literally backed up, run over him again, and then ran over him a 3rd time.
Right.
I was going to make sure.
Yeah, as always, if anybody else has got any questions out there, we'll try to answer them. Just message them on here, and we'll post them. Thank you, Rhonda, for your question. And if y'all's wanting to do any scouting or anything like that around the Hurricane Lake or Searcy area or over in there, give me a message and I'll hook you up with BC and Robert. I'm sure they're doing stuff all summer long. Those are our boots on the ground in the area. They would like to help. And that's a blessing to us as the cartel. Usually we have somebody from each area that's actually done the legwork and said, hey, this is a hot spot. We've been here several times. We've had activity. We need some help. Bring the people in. And we're blessed at that. To have good people that actually does the groundwork for it. It makes it look easy for the cartel and Falkor Bigfoot investigation. We get to do a lot of it, but it always helps to have friends. Anybody got any questions they want to ask another panelist here? Or anything?
If anybody wants to meet me at that park in about a week or so, Wendell's got my phone number. They can contact me when I'm out there.
That'd be good. Dale might. He's off during the week.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm retired. Y'all call me anytime.
Yeah, me too. I'm retired.
And he's usually available as long as Robert can pick him up. It just depends on when Robert's schedule is. At least that's my understanding. That's what Robert tells me anyway, BC.
Well, yeah, because, I've had vision loss. It's a genetic vision loss, and, I can't drive, so don't need a seeing eye dog or a cane, but it's for everybody's benefit that I don't drive because I can lose depth perception at times and things like that.
Right.
Now, if Larry's available on weekends, he may go.
All right, that would be good. And anything like that, if y'all have any activity, record it, post a picture. If you find more stuff, like as always, we're always open to go anywhere in Arkansas that we can. So we bring a whole team in.
Before I forget it, everybody, at least in Arkansas, y'all plan on going to the Bigfoot conference in October?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We ain't speakers this year. Randy Saving is going to be there, and I'm interested. I like talking to him, and he does awesome recording of all the Bigfoot. That's his main his niche is that he's a recording guy and he gets some good audio and everything. We fall short of that. But I wish I'd had the recorders out working the ones that had the good batteries in it when it happened at Area 2 this time. But we really wasn't expecting to have a lot of activity because usually we hike and find them and there we just showed up and listened and it still was a lot of activity. All right, we got another question from Rhonda here. Let me see. BC, you see that?
Kiamichi area. I'm not sure where that's at.
I'm not either.
It's almost straight across the border from Mena, Arkansas.
Oh,
I just came from a conference down there here a while back. Down there, Tallahena.
Oh, it's more towards the Ouachitas then.
Yeah,
Where the-
Kiamichi Mountain area is just it's 150 miles or so across the border. I'm not sure exactly how far it is, but I know it's almost straight across from Mena.
Yeah, that'd be something we could work on. We actually have contacts down there that we hadn't been able to get down there close to. Yeah, we might do something like that in the spring after the February deal of that area too. Go down to Comanche area because I'll study with that and get with you. Let's see. Here's another question or statement from Rhonda. That'd be Paul had her husband had a sighting at Possum Grate.
yeah, I've heard of activity in that area. That's about 15, 16 miles northeast of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know where Possum Grate is. I got to tell y'all something funny about our little trip this past weekend. Wendell and I was walking down through there by the river, and Wendell claims there's a dog come out of there.
It was a brown dog. Yes, it was. But when we turned around, I said, Dale, look at that. And we turned around, the dog was not there. I don't know.
I said, yeah, if you say there was a dog, I guess there was a dog, but I didn't see a dog.
It's a brown dog with a cold nose because it touched my leg. And I was like, whoa. And turned around, looked at the dog and said, Dale, look at this dog. And looked back around. There's no dog nowhere. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
I was talking about noises and sounds. Ron Moorhead's got a new book coming out here. If it ain't out already, The Universal Bigfoot. Of course, he's the one that recorded the Sierra sounds.
Yeah, I've got those CDs, the Sierra Sounds. But I
don't have the CDs. I've got his book.
I thought his new book was the I thought I had his new book. I didn't know he had another one come out. I'll have to look for it.
I posted it to my group here a couple of days ago. It's called the Unified Bigfoot, I think. Instead of the Unified Field Theory, it's Unified Bigfoot.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I'll look for it.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, Amazon probably has it.
Rhonda says, thank you for answering. Y'all have a good night. She says, we're in Searcy, so just a holler, and we can go anytime soon. She's going to have hip surgery August 29th, but after a month or so healing of that, she'll be back and in good shape. Praying for her. And, yeah, we'll keep you informed. And they might even, since they're in Searcy, Billy be able, I'll just make a group chat and put all y'all on it. And then if when you're coming into your area there at your mother-in-law's, just post in there what time you'll be there, and then y'all figure out if y'all want to do something. That'd be the easy way.
You'll send me that link, Wendell?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I get off of here, I'll make a group chat and see if y'all all can work something out.
Yeah, okay, that's good. All right. Yeah, my mother-in-law has bad reception up there, but my nephew just got out of the Navy, and he run that cable all the way back down that road, which is about a half a mile. So he has service down there.
Huh. Awesome.
So they should have got service out there now.
Good deal. Wow. Well, I just got my alarm that we've been on for an hour already. Don't seem like it.
No, it doesn't.
Any final thoughts or comments? We got like 10 minutes here. We'll come up with something to talk about. Anybody got anything they want to say?
I told you women
You know, in East Texas, they around Lufkin area, they like to go where the chicken farms are because they throw like 100 dead chickens away every day, you know. And in Colt, which is on the way to my mother-in-law's place, there's a chicken farm there. I'm going to stop and talk to those people there and ask them where their pile of chickens at. I'm going to go out and see if there's any footprints around there. That's about a mile west of Crowley Ridge.
Yeah, I know where Colt's at.
Yeah, about a couple miles south of Wynn, you know.
I think it's Highway 1.
Correct. Yeah, it goes all the way from Forest City right into Wynn. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, you was correct, Dale. That Comanche is in Oklahoma, where you went, near Hobbia.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know how that works. We'd have to research. Don't you got to buy the permit when you're over there?
Is it?
The Bigfoot hunting permit in Oklahoma?
Well, that's there's a lot of tribal people over in that area. I really enjoy talking to them because once you get them to open up about it, they'll sit there and chat with you for an hour. You know, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I have a cousin that's from there, and he lives here, but she got land there on the tribal deal, and they go up there every summer. She's tried to get me to go up there with her, so we might actually have some extra connections there. We'll have to check that out and see. I'm pretty sure if you're in Oklahoma, you got to buy that permit, which is $25. It ain't much.
Was it like a hiking permit? Is it like a hiking permit?
No, it's a Bigfoot hunting permit. Oklahoma is the only state that's got them. You got to have a permit to go out Bigfoot.
Just looking for them, not hunting them, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, on the permit, you can't kill one. You can capture one. They call it a hunting permit, but you're allowed to capture one.
All right.
So, but anybody that goes out there watching has to have that permit. Is my understanding. I read up on it last year anyway. I'll have to recheck it, but that's what it was last year. You had to have that permit, no matter if you're just out there.
Yeah, I think they call that the Comanche Beach or something down in that area.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, is that Zenobia, the same Zenobia as the famous Bigfoot Creek?
It was, but the new people is running it, and they're calling it something different, but it's still at the Hobia place it was.
That was a pretty good spot activity there for a while.
Yeah. Shane Church off the Southern Bigfoot Alliance was there this last time and everything. Yeah. I forgot what they called it, but it wasn't Hobia, but it was at the same place.
Yeah. It's Tallahena.
Tallahena, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't real impressed with it this past year. I wasn't near like the last one I went to down there.
Right. And you're going to be going to the one in Missouri, right? On
Yeah,
the
yeah, I'll
28th.
be going to that on the 28th. I keep thinking, what is it anyway? Where is it in Missouri? I can't think of it.
I keep posting about it.
I keep thinking St. Louis, but it's not St. Louis. It's
Taylor close to it.
You what?
It's still close to it. St. Louis. Missouri's mixed.
St. Louis is in Missouri, Mom.
As I said, it was close to it.
It's real close to it.
Yeah. Ozark Mountain Bigfoot Conference in Springfield.
Oh man, I was going to say that. That's right.
The only one that I know.
That area we went to is Kyle's Landing, by the way.
Yeah, Kyle's Landing. I don't know. Only one I know out of the speakers here at this one is Richard Taylor. I follow a lot of his stuff. He's pretty good and seems trustworthy. So that's who I would be going to listen. And before that, same time's the one down at Mena. Let me see if I can find it and go ahead and plug it. At the Blue Line Zip Line.
Yeah.
It is the Ouachita Bigfoot Festival, September 20th and 21st. And Keith Kennedy is the only speaker that, well, the Sisters of the Moon, I know of them. They're going to be at that one. And Keith Kennedy is pretty respectable. It looks like a good conference. Any y'all out there that wants to go to two good conferences, it's right there and all the time when I'm setting up getting ready for our big season. We run a haunted house, so we're all busy all these weekends getting ready.
Did anybody watch the first episode of Expedition Bigfoot this past week?
Boy, I've heard a lot of comments, but no, I didn't get to watch it. Some of them said it was pretty good. I don't know.
It was interesting.
The one guy ain't on there no more. Do what, Barry?
It wasn't real exciting, but it was interesting. I had interesting footage on it.
Oh, yeah? I'll have to watch it. For some reason on my streaming app, I got to wait 2 or 3 days. When something new, it shows up 2 or 3 days later. I don't got to pay for it, so I guess that's why. Oh, I got to get with Dale. I still didn't get Mom's shirt. I really forgot about it to just then. I heard her laughing, and I was like, oh, I forgot her shirt. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Well, we've got to our 10 minutes after our hour. We get an hour and 10 minutes free, so I'm going to let everybody tell their goodbyes, and we'll see y'all next month. And if we come up with any new information, I'll post it.
I want to thank you for inviting me on here.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome. Oh,
Yeah.
You're going to do something else this week, too. Go ahead and plug it. What was it? A podcast? Billy?
Oh yeah, I've got one with. I've got two of them on Wednesday. Yeah, one Wednesday
Okay.
morning and one Wednesday evening. The one Wednesday evening will be an audio one, and the one
That was before.
Wednesday morning will be with Linda Eastburn.
Yeah, be watching for that. She's a good interviewer and everything, but it usually takes her. It'll be recorded and posted on our page, and we'll share it. And
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, okay.
all right, we'll go with Dale, and then Billy, and then BC, and then Barry. Y'all say y'all closing. Whatever you want to tell anybody.
I just wanted to say thanks for having me, man. You know.
Awesome. Dale?
Well, I appreciate y'all coming. I really enjoyed your report, Billy. I hope we can get together soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be out there next Sunday from the 25th to the 31st. I'll be in Wynn.
Yeah, of course, it's always good to see BC and Barry around in Wendell.
Yeah. I lost my camera somewhere at the beginning of this. I didn't want to get off and reset it because we might have lost everything. So me and BC was cameraless tonight. Go ahead, BC.
Always a pleasure to be here, Bill. Hopefully, we'll get to hook up when you get up to Wynn.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Safe trip. Wish you a safe trip here, safe trip home.
Thanks.
God bless you, everybody, and look forward to seeing y'all next time.
All right, Barry.
As usual, it's nice to meet everybody. Nice to meet you, Mr. Decker. God bless everybody. Pray for us. We pray for you. If anybody here in Kentucky sees or hears anything, they can contact me.
All right. I want to thank everybody, our viewers, and our supporters. And if you have any sightings or anything just strange, contact me, Messenger, or Dale in the Central Arkansas area, the Ball Knob area is always BC, and in the Mountain View area, you can contact Marcus Miller or the Mountain Home area. And Neil's working on getting a new Facebook account and everything set up, so you'll have to wait till you just message me if anything around Oark or Devil's Den or Western Arkansas, and I'll get a hold of Neil. All right, everybody. I want to thank y'all for stopping by and thank you for all the questions from Rhonda. And I'll put them and BC and Robert and Dale and Billy in a group chat, and y'all can work out what y'all's going to do next week. Sound good?
All right.
That's good.
All right. See y'all later. We're going
Okay, have a good evening, y'all. God bless.
Later.